Welcome back, everyone, to the Pt.13 Chronicles. Well, wait, I didn't change my part. I just noticed. It's part 13. 13, yeah. There you go. Today we'll start with the next adventure, which would be the Grace A72 Resolve. So we come from adventures to resolve, which is an interesting subtitle. I guess you need resolve, well, to get through it. Wait. Okay, yeah. The background music is on. We'll just start the adventure today. I don't think I'll manage to finish the introduction, considering how long the introduction was in the first game. So I guess we'll go up to the trial and then we'll do the trial, maybe? We'll see, we'll see. Let's just jump right into it. Dino said that the second game will be even more interesting, so I'm really looking forward to it, whatever you'll find out now. About what happens in the background for real. Oh no, she was right. It was a mistake. This outfit looks absolutely not correct for the setting. Oh, it's a recap. Oh, she has a really nice voice. If we go by the pattern, then usually I lose my memory or something. I'm still waiting for you, Susato-san. I've had myself faced with another awful crime. Oh, it's her again. The lady of the first trial who got away. Does anyone know who her voice actor is? Sounds like someone I know. But finally. Wait, she died? She's not the murderer, she died? Well, that was surprising. Kazuma-sama? But... what? Why Kazuma-sama? What about me? I think I can be useful. Oh, this looks cool. Why are there two women though? The Blossoming Attorney. I didn't change the title! The Blossoming... Chronicles, right? The Blossoming... What was it again? The Blossoming something. Blossoming... irony. That was definitely not the title. I'll check it in a bit. Blossoming Attorney. Oh, Blossoming Attorney was the name. Okay, wait. Oh man, I can't believe that I forgot to change the title and stuff. Blossoming Attorney. Alright, now we got it. Now we got it. This should be fine. Wait, it's Susato-san? Oh god. Her name. Her voice. Yeah, I'm again after 9 months. The Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. I'm so nervous, but I must steal my nerves and find a way to compose myself. Oh, her father's alive, thank goodness. Ah, good, you're here. Doesn't do for a lawyer to be late. Oh yes, good morning, sir. Are you saying Susato-san is a lawyer? That's unexpected. Huh. Well, she has the skills to be a lawyer, so it's fair. It's actually pretty nice. I hardly recognize you. You're kind of fine figure, counsel. But you look as white as sheet, and those white eyes aren't do you any favors either. Well, oh dear. Truth is, I'm so incredibly nervous. I feel utterly nauseated. I almost wish that I had never been born. That's a lot, Susato. That's pretty heavy, even. Goodness. Not the sort of thing a father hopes to hear from his daughter, I must say. I completely agree. But at least we don't need to go through amnesia or something to do the first trial again. If Susato does the trial, then it makes sense that she kinda goes through all the introduction tutorial part, which usually comes with the first trial of a Ace Attorney game. Eugene Mikotoba, professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University, a man who early in his life traveled to Great Britain to study the latest advances in forensic medical science. And of course, my brilliant father. Excuse me. Oh! It's her. Would I be correct in thinking that you're to be my lawyer and Kurt today? Yes. Yes, that's right, miss. That sounded awkward. Well, I want to thank you for agreeing to represent me. I swear on my life. It's a complete fabrication, this whole thing. Alright, that's interesting. Oh, now that we're in Japan again, and this is our first trial, this also means we'll fight against pain. Well, this pain, not, you know, the other pain. Rei Membami. Well, God, what's the name? Born the same year as I, and my greatest friend. Wait, she's your friend? Well, unusual for a woman in our time, she works at the university research laboratory, helping my father. And sadly, she's the defendant in today's trial, accused of committing a truly awful murder. Are you feeling alright? Since we started talking, you seem, well, to have become a little flushed. Oh my, it's just that you look so gallant and dashing. That's something to say to Susato. Sorry? And when I fall under your intense gaze, it makes you feel rather bashful. Wait, what? Is she in love with Susato or something? Goodness, I don't think she knows. She hasn't realized who I am. Wait, what? She hasn't realized who you are? It would seem our little plan for this trial is going to work. Oh, what do you mean, Professor Mikotoba? If even your best friend can't see through your disguise, I think we can relax. Disguise? Yes, I've never tried dressing this way before, of course, so I wasn't sure how convincing it would be. But this does make me feel a little relieved, as you say, Father. Father? Oh my goodness, she didn't realize it's her best friend. What? Is that you, Susato? I'm so sorry I didn't say something sooner, eh? It's just... No, what are you doing? What's going on? What? The varsity uniform, the varsity cap, the varsity cape, the varsity badge. Look at you. You look for all the world just like a student of Imperial Yume University, a male student. I'm so glad you think so. It means all my preparations have been worthwhile. I woke at 4 this morning to make a start. 4? That's way too early. But I don't understand why you're dressed like that. Well, you see... was the only way. The only way she would be permitted into the Supreme Court to take on the defense in this trial. My defense? I guess women are still not allowed to be in court. Never before in my life have I felt so frustrated having been born in this body. Courts in Japan are bad to women. We're not even allowed to set a foot inside the courtroom. Oh! Oh, right. She wasn't allowed to be in there. She was only allowed in Great Britain. Despite the fact that the laws of the land apply to all people, male and female alike. Oh, so the laws say okay, but reality says nope. I understand. But women are forbidden. Just for today, I'll be leaving my true self at the courtroom door, so that I can act as your lawyer. Oh, Susato, you'd go to such lengths for me? Of course, you're my greatest friend. I just worry that I shan't be the lawyer you deserve. Oh no, I have complete faith in you. They. So strange though. I mean, you're such an accomplished judicial assistant already. And yet just because you're a woman. What a wretched reason. I wonder if she can do this post, if she can also do the Susato takedown. I mean, why shouldn't you be allowed in court? You're so gallant and dashing. I think she fell in love already. Ray? Please don't look at me like that, with those flushed cheeks and doting eyes. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just, you really do look so dashing. Yes, you mentioned that once or twice. Ha ha ha. You should be pleased. It means you look convincing as a man. I am pleased, I think. It certainly helped to bolster my confidence today. Oh, hey, Dino. I really didn't expect Susato to cosplay as a man, or cross-dress, actually. Nay, you're managing to put on a brave face in all this, but I can see through it. I've noticed how your shoulders are slumped and how you're trembling ever so slightly. Well, I can't see the trembling, but yeah, I can see the shoulders, definitely. Susato, you do believe me, don't you? I didn't do it. I couldn't have. I mean, murder? Of course, you have nothing to worry about. Your conscience is perfectly clean. Isn't that right? Yes. Yes, it is. Perfectly clean. Right. Right. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind about your innocence. Which is why I'll stand by you until the bitter end in this trial. Whatever happens, I'll always be on your side. Because that's what it means to be a defense lawyer. Oh, you learned from Naruto and Kazuma. Very good, very good. Maybe I should say Ryunosuke. That means so much to me, Susato. Actually, this is such a great way of doing, the first trial. If you compare that to the Ace Attorney trilogy, where we always got whacked somehow to kind of forget the basics, which was also pretty funny, but it got old in a while. It's good to have a kind of a stand-in like this. Defendant, counsel. Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. Yes, yes, let's go. You should go in at once, Ray. If you're late, the judge won't hesitate to pronounce you guilty. Well, that's mean. Oh, well. Stand aside! Wait, what? Bye-bye. I don't think I've ever seen her run so fast. I guess everyone is a better runner than Ryunosuke. Well, Susato, you certainly surprised your father. Going to such lengths to be admitted into the courtroom with no prior experience of being a lawyer. There was simply no other way, that's all there is to it. But father, you haven't told her, have you? I mean, I'm right in assuming Ray doesn't know how it came to this. Yes, quite right. I've kept that information from her. It would only worry her if she found out that no other lawyer would agree to take her case. Oh wow, that sounds awfully familiar, doesn't it, Ryunosuke? I didn't want to burden her with that. And is that true? The reason why every other lawyer is refusing to take the case? Is it really because of who the victim was? We should be making a move now, too. As you know, law isn't my field, but I'll do what I can to support my student. My student? Thank you, father. We're screwed. But at least we'll see Pain again. I forgot his first name, but something with Pain. Oh no, he's Ouchie, right? I forgot. I'm Susato Mikotoba, a judicial assistant. 8 months ago, I accompanied the student of law on a study trip to Great Britain. But 2 months ago, due to unforeseen circumstances, I found myself back in Japan. It's because I changed my outfits, it looks so stupid. How many times have I wished that you were here, I wonder? Still, I have no choice now but to steer myself of a trial ahead. I've gotta say, Dino, you were very, very right about changing the clothes. It looked so stupid when Susato was standing in front of a grave, wearing that outfit. Wish me luck, Naruto-san. So yeah, I want to change it back as soon as I can. It would be cool though if, unlike, you know, Phoenix Wright, that Naruhodo would be very accomplished in these last 2 months or something. Or do his usual, well, and not be like Phoenix Wright, completely jobless most of the time. Kid with serious moment, huh? Yeah, kinda. Oh my god, it looks so ridiculous. I'm so sorry. I'll change it back the next time. Miss Kurt is now in session to hear the trial of Ray Membami. Hey, Archie, you look, do you look different? Have you changed your hair? Is it just me or did she change his hair? The prosecution is fully ready to proceed to excellency. I wish... No, she looks so... Wait. I can? Alright, then I'll change it now. I see, so the outfit won't be shown if it's over... Okay, I'll go back to the title. Well... Whatever. Yes. So you can't see the outfit if you wear the special stuff. Alright, then I better leave it out. This is wrong. Okay. I didn't know that they override everything. There you go. Do we see it now? Oh! This looks so great! You're right! This was totally worth it. Thank you, Dino. Oh, well, now I can see why her best friend thought she looked very dashing. I can see it too. Although she's a little bit pink for a man. Defense Counsel, are you ready? Yes, Your Excellency, we are ready. Ready! She looks like Naruhodo-kun now. Ah, yes, Counsel. According to your registration details, your name is, Ryotaro Naruhodo? Is that correct? Ryotaro Naruhodo? Who the hell's that? And why did she take Naruhodo's name? I guess we're married now? Sorry? Oh yes, I had to come up with a suitable male name for you, for this little adventure. And you didn't tell her beforehand? So I'm afraid to say I simply put down the first name that sprung to mind. Well, Counsel? Yes, that's right. That's me. I mean... Yes, I'm Ryotaro, he who was vowed to uphold the pride of a great Naruto clan. Seems Ryotaro may need to consider how better to uphold his many experts and not overdo it. And those white eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Just relax and listen. Naruhodo? I think he was in this courtroom, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Yaochi, you're the same as always, huh? But the name Naruhodo, would that perchance be? Oh, wait, did you mean this is his cousin? And I was wondering what you meant with meeting his cousin, but... I didn't expect it would be cross-dressed Susato-san. You may be thinking of Ryunosuke Naruto, currently in Britain as part of a study program. This is, his cousin. That's right, Ryotaro here has been studying in the provinces but was called to the capital for his trial. I assure you in matters of law, his knowledge rivals that of any Tokyo's preeminent lawyers. Any of them. Susato, what are you doing? Tutu, what a pitiful situation. Having been rejected by every lawyer in the capital, the accused has had to call in a country boy. How dare you? Oh my god, you're using the wrong name! How dare you? Susato's every bit as gallant and dashing as any of your Tokyo attorneys. I won't have you making fun of her. Her? Please be careful, Ray. What an unrefined tomboy we have here. But I wonder, is your gallant dashing lawyer up to the challenge of defending you? His wide, skittish eyes very much suggest that he's not. Oh, well, he's right about that. Oh, I'm so nervous. Now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand what Naruto-san goes through. Like it or not, eyes are wont to flit. Eyes are wont to flit? What does that mean? Is that a saying or something? Nope, I have no idea what that means. I can't stop my eyes from flailing around is probably the meaning that they tried to convey. But I have no idea what that sentence even meant. The case to be heard on this day is a matter of great significance to our national interests. In fact, it would be reasonable to assume that the outcome of this trial may well affect the very future of our empire. Just like we tried 9 months ago, and yet for a proceeding of such importance, we have this unknown yokel by the dog? Dear me. Well, it's because of that. Perhaps this would be an appropriate moment for me to assess the defense, to determine whether you are sufficiently competent to practice in this courtroom. 9 months ago, when a certain other Naruhodo stood where you're standing now, the same judge tested him as well. He says its eyes have a tendency to won't. Won't is one's customary behavior in a particular... Oh, that's a word? Oh, I didn't know that. I never heard of that word before. Want. Okay, it's probably want.
Want.
Want. Oh, okay, it's something like a habit. Oh. You didn't know that either. Okay, eyes are habits to flit. I see, so that's what it means. Nice, thank you too. You're pretty... Why is she so smart? Okay, let's continue for now. And even though he was just a student at the time, not even of law. Yeah, that's the amazing thing. He wasn't even a student of law and he managed to kind of do it. He passed the test with flying colors. I did? I don't remember that. For a trained and experienced judicial assistant like you, this will be easy. He's always better than me. No worries, he's also always better than me then. So, Counsel, do you consent to answering some simple questions? Alright, it's time to prove myself. Even the same habits, huh? Yes, Your Excellency. But please do make them simple. He says, no, I'm not. You are. Very well, to start with, you will state the name of the victim. Phew, that is simple. I couldn't forget that if I tried. What's the matter? Now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand something else Naruhodo-san goes through. Like it or not, minds are want to blank. It's not surprising, really. It's your first time in this position and in that guise. Even a bright spark like you is bound to flicker and falter a little under the circumstances. Oh dear, this is a dismal failure. Don't fret. You need only use the knowledge you've gained as a judicial assistant to overcome the problem. Of course, the card record. Yes, the answer will be amongst all the key information about the case in the card record. That's right, just use RB to open the card record. When you need to flip the people section with RB, yeah. And don't take too long over it. Excellency is watching you closely. Alright, check the card record. With RB, that's where the information is that I will need. Okay, let's remember all the names actually. Raymond Bowie, best friend. Josiah Brett, oh right, that was her name. The victim of the case was a former British exchange student. 9 months ago, she was found guilty of murder of visiting Professor Dr. John H. Wilson. Taketsuchi is his name. Taketsuchi. Who appears to be struggling to accept the changes afoot as a result of these turbulent new times in Japan, the Meiji era. Aw, you're old, huh? Let's check this one. Josiah Brett, female British. Time of death 11th August at around 2 p.m. Oh. Wait a second, someone messaged me. Wait a sec. Is he currently next to you or something? Alright, this should do. I'm over at my parents' house today because I'm helping my dad fix his computer. That's a classic problem, do you know? Helping Asian parents with their computers. I don't think you need to be Asian though. That might be any parent in this era. Time of death 11th August around 2 p.m. as certain by eye examination witness statements. Cause of death, single deep stab, hello, what? Single deep stab wound from behind, piercing a lung and resulting in fatal hemorrhage. Death would have occurred within minutes. Minutes? That means she was alive for some time. Extreme meiosis, pupil constriction was observed in the victim in both eyes. Extreme meiosis? What does that mean? Did she take drugs or something? He had trouble with it too. With a PC? I'm waiting, counsel. What is the name of a victim in this case? Ouchie. Well, I would have known that even without checking. What is this pathetic act? The name of a victim who lost her life in this case is Miss Josiah Brett. You can use the wrong answer because you get funny. Oh. Damn it, I should have. Josiah Brett. A name that will never be forgotten in the courtrooms of our country, I'm sure. Correct. And being a member of our empire's judiciary, you'll be well aware of the significance of that name. So, let me pose another simple question. As you know, Miss Brett was a visiting student from the Empire of Great Britain. Why then is her name indelibly associated with our own empire judicial history? Obviously, you won't have forgotten the case from 9 months ago. But if it's proving hard to recall the finer points, everything you need is included in the court record. Actually, let's check it again. I think it just says about the being guilty for murder, yeah. Alright, nothing special. Obviously, I still remember. That was the start of everything. Josiah Brett. Behind the woman student persona was the face of Queen Victoria! A killer. 9 months ago, a visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University was killed. And the culprit was Josiah Brett. Yes, she was a killer. Poor Watson. At the time, our country had just signed a new treaty with the Empire of Great Britain, and was in the midst of a delicate diplomatic situation where the incident occurred. An Englishman, Dr. John H. Wilson, was shot dead. I believe he was an associate of yours, Professor Mikotoba. Yes, I was indebted to the man. He had been my mentor when I went to London to study forensic medicine. Indeed. It was I who invited him here to Japan as a visiting professor at the university. Naturally, the murder of an Englishman on our soil was a matter the government wished to resolve rapidly. Indeed it was, which is why a secret trial was conducted here at the Supreme Court. A student of Imperial Yume University was arrested on suspicion of murder. A second-year English language student by the name of Ryonosuke Naruhodo. Second-year English language, you were right. I totally didn't remember that. With the help of his best friend, a student lawyer, the accused conducted his own defense. That's so amazing. But he managed to do that, and exposed the despicable crime committed by Miss Josiah Brett. Miss Brett eventually admitted to her crime. However, when the questions about the motive that drove her to take Dr. Wilson's life, she gave no satisfactory answer before the trial reached its conclusion. Immediately after the trial, the British government brought its consular jurisdiction into play. We were unable to sentence Miss Brett according to our empire laws. It was decided that she would be removed to Shanghai, China instead. She was removed to China? I totally forgot that. Okay, they never mentioned it. Never mind. T left, lol. Bye-bye, T. Why Shanghai? There's a British consul occurred there. Correct. I oversaw the negotiations personally. The date of her transfer to Shanghai was finally settled upon only last week. All that remained of our empire's obligation was to see the woman safely on board of the steamship. Wouldn't it be surprised me if she, you know, suicided herself because to make some trouble? And yet, the very day before her departure, the Englishwoman was killed. Yes, yes. Only the day before? We only know now? Oh my god, we still don't know anything. Why is it always so sucky being the defense lawyer? That will do. I'm satisfied that the counsel for the defense is sufficiently capable of representing the defendant. Oh. Thank you, Your Excellency. Over the first harder. Now, a summary of incident, if you please. Prosecutor Archie. Do you wish, Your Excellency? Right. Oh, he also wears the prosecutor badge. I didn't know this the first time. Or maybe I forgot. The repugnant crime took place on the 11th of August in broad daylight. On a beach? That's interesting. On the outskirts of the imperial capital under a bright blue sky, the secluded bathing spot by the sea. The incident occurred inside a small beach hut, erected for bathers to rest or change their clothes. Are you kidding me? You were that to the beach? Are you crazy, woman? The cause of death was a single stab wound to the posterior abdomen that pierced the victim's lung. An injury which proved fatal. Fatal? There was two persons alone together in the beach hut at the time of the victim's death. Miss Brett in her bathing attire, and the accused, Ray Bambami. What do you mean? That was her bathing suit? Isn't that weird? Accordingly, there can be no doubt of the accused's guilt, especially when we consider she had a powerful motive. The police arrived rapidly at the scene, promptly arrested the young lady. Okay. Ryutaro. So they show his name. Well, that extraordinary description of events leaves me somewhat lost for words, I must say. That's certainly true. The prosecution summary was full of words that raised an awful lot of questions. As a lawyer, I really ought to pick up the prosecution counsel on what he said about. Yeah, the motive might be important. Actually, I probably need to know about all of that. You're clearly exaggerating. Powerful motive is a blatant overstatement. Toot toot toot. That's the yoke boy. And I already forgot it was. Using long words he does not fully understand? I beg your pardon? Matter. Let us put this to the accused, shall we? Do we? Membami-san, you're a research assistant at the Imperial Human University, I believe? Yes, I am. I'm working with Professor Mikotoba in his laboratory at the moment. Wow, that's pretty amazing. I can confirm that. The defendant is an excellent assistant with a strong sense of responsibility. Fascinating to hear. Now another question. Prior to your work with Professor Mikotoba, whose research were you assisting then? Oh, well... I was studying under Dr. John H. Wilson. Dr. Wilson? The visiting English professor was murdered by Miss Brett 9 months ago? Oh, I see. That's the motive they talk about. The accused had a deep-seated respect for her former mentor, Dr. Wilson. Is that not true? Yes, Dr. Wilson was a wonderful man. Interesting. When tell occurred what deep-seated feelings you had towards the English woman who killed him. Well, I was filled with hatred for what she'd done. A proper hatred. No, you idiot! Ray! Oh no, Ray, be careful of what you're saying. It was revenge. Plain and simple, Your Excellency. Right. Well, it was clearly a trap all along. How wicked of him to use Ray's undying respect for her former mentor against her like that. I must find out more details and something we can use to bolster out our defense. As a lawyer, I really ought to pick up a so it doesn't matter. Membami-san. What is it? I mean, Naruhodo-san. It's so weird when she addresses her as Naruhodo. I'm really starting to wish we had made my alias Ryutaro Susato. Yes, I agree. Please tell the Kurt why exactly you were present at the bathing spot with a victim in the first place, and why you were alone with her. Oh, well, no, that's not true. It wasn't like that at all. There were other people present. A detective was guarding Miss Brett for starters. I was just asked to accompany Miss Brett as a companion, that's all. Let's be clear. At the moment of her death, you were alone together with the victim in the hearth. You and no one else. The truth is, there's only one reason why this young woman accompanied Miss Brett on her bathing sojourn. It was the accused's last chance to take the victim's life. Right. No. Because, as we know, the following day would see Miss Brett extradited to the British authorities in Shanghai. And the accused would never have an opportunity to dispatch her again. Man, Archie, you're as annoying as always. Kindly refrain from conjecture, counsel. Tch, haha. The prosecution counsel seems to enjoy using provocative tricks like that. But for now at least, we need to assemble more facts. Try not to let them goad you. Oh dear, this is really terrifying. But Father's right, we need more information. Alright, so I needed to ask everything anyways. If I may, Prosecutor Archie. What do you want, you fresh-faced young Yokel student? Yokel? I wonder, could you explain, please? You mentioned a bathing spot. Ha! My apologies. Clearly my modernity has confused the poor country bumpkin's simple mind. Oh, that's mean. Bathing spots are the very latest trend in health practices from the West. We are told that bathing in the water of the ocean is curative, therapeutic, and excellent for the skins. No, that's not what I meant. I was referring to the fact that Miss Brett had, to all intents and purposes, been found guilty of murder. Why would the known criminal have been relaxing by the sea? For old time's sake, I believe. Sorry? Miss Brett was to depart for Shanghai the following day. Her final wish, as it were, was to enjoy a day at our country's wonderful coast. And the British embassy put extreme pressure on our government to comply. Archie, are you allowed to say that? But on what grounds would we agree to such a request? Because, as usual, our government is unable to stand up to foreign powers. In matters of diplomacy, it seems you don't have the courage to decline on the whims of known criminal. Don't look at me, Professor. It was the government who granted permission, not I. In any case, it was decided that with a dedicated detective on duty, nothing could go wrong. But in fact, a murder took place. I said, don't look at me! It was that young student girl who did it, not I! No one has proved that yet. I wouldn't provoke the man if you don't need to. Well, you're right. I believe we have a clear picture of the incident now. Despite her guilt being determined 9 months ago, Miss Brett managed to avoid incarceration instead continuing her research work at the university. Obviously, over that period, she and Ray would have encountered each other on a number of occasions. She was allowed to continue whatever she wanted to do, despite being convicted of murder. Are you kidding me? And she was allowed to meet other people? This makes no sense! Seeing the murderer of the mentor for whom she had such great respect enjoying such undeserved liberty. Yes, even it was only temporary until Miss Brett's extradition to Shanghai. You can hardly blame Ray for her feelings of anger and resentment. Poor Ray. So, Your Excellency, if you'd be so kind as to peruse this exhibit, a photographic print that shows the scene of crime immediately following the grim incident. This is her bathing suit? Well, it's a bathing robe. And she even has a lot of luggage. Why? You're just going to the ocean. Where does she even get this from? She's a prisoner. Whatever. I shouldn't care too much. Yes, thank you, Counsel. A tragic image. Yes, very tragic indeed. As you can see clearly, there's nowhere within the hut that anyone else could have hidden. I can think of a number of spots, like that dress or that table, I guess. The Kurt will accept this photographic print as evidence. As I understand it, then the victim and the defendant were alone inside the beach hut at the time. This is deeply troubling, I must say. The finger of guilt points firmly at the defendant. What did you have to say it, Judge? I want the British judge back. You're not cool. Oh, look at this. It's open. So, if you assume that she was sitting at the chair, when someone could have simply stabbed her through this gape hole of the hut, stabbed her, and she would have died, and no one would have suspected a thing. So the whole murder wouldn't have, you know, happened inside, anyways. What? Oh, Your Excellency, naturally the prosecution has much more to its case. You have more? We intend to prove the accused appalling actions beyond all possible contentions. To that end, I can confirm that we have multiple witnesses to the crime and damning evidence. You literally have no witnesses to the crime if they were both in the hut. There's no way! No one could see you in there. What do you mean, witnesses of a crime? What? Witnesses? But who? One of whom I might add is a highly respected police detective. Hosonoga? Is it you? I assure you the testimony of these witnesses will leave no room for doubt. Ouchie. Why are you such pain? Very well then, Counsel. Bring forth your witnesses. Takatsuchi Aochi have been waiting for this moment. Sorry. Oh yes, I haven't forgotten. That trial not I can't keep his voice up. That trial 9 months ago here in this very courthouse, when that irrelevant little student boy utterly humiliated me. Right. Oh yeah, he did change his hair. Or was it that we cut this thing off? Well, yes. This insult to the Aochi family name will never be forgotten. Yeah, no worries, Pain. You were punished for the rest of your generation. You've become conceited with age, Counsel, but the old have to stand aside and make a way for the new. Alright, Dino. Have a good trip home, I guess. It's way of a word. May you never forget that. Oh yeah, that's how his hair got like this. Wow, he even reenacted the scene. Not bad. Strike the head of a samurai whose top knot has been cut, and the bell of cultural enlightenment tolls. Yes, on that fateful day, my former self died. The start of your own mini-major revolution. Are you modernizing as well, Counsel? Silence! Since I saw revenge back then, there has been a minor miracle atop my head. Observe the Aochi Grove. You see? You see the seed of hopes running forth of the barren expanse of my crown? I think that tiny grove is trying to tell me something. I'm afraid I can't really see. Where's the hope exactly? I said so! I guess the hope is that he actually can grow hair there. Today, I face another Yokai student of the Naruto clan. Well, I will vanquish you. And my victory will be fertilized for the seed of hope atop my head. You have been warned. He will be bold after this trial. He will be bold. With that, the prosecution calls the witnesses to the stand. It looks like the stakes are high on both sides in this trial. Do you call that a high stake for him? The prosecution and defense each has much to lose. A haircut is hardly comparable to Ray's life. Exactly. Oh no, those two idiots. Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court. Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Imperial Police Bureau. I'm disguised, obviously, so I can go undetected. Again. And I'm, well, the next big thing in books, an author renowned throughout the capital, in fact. Yes. Soon be sold out. The satirical I Am a Cat. Sensational success by Soseki Natsume. Wait, who's the guy in the back? And why is this... well, whatever. Oh my goodness. He's the murderer, huh? Well, good to know. As to why I think so, he had ink on his right hand. Which is interesting, right? Ink even though he uses a pencil. But if you look at this evidence again, she has a pen in her hand, which likely uses ink because fancy people use ink. And she probably tried to stab the attacker before she died. Because she is not happy about dying. And especially not dying to some random dude. Striking student from a province's place. You didn't be in awe of me. I needn't. It's only natural that you'll feel nervous in my presence, but all of you, please relax. Call me Soseki. Yes. What on earth is Soseki-san doing here? Tread carefully, Susato. That awful fellow knows you from your time in London, doesn't he? If he exposes you for who you really are, this will be over before it's begun. Yes, of course, I know. I presume Soseki-san won't have forgotten about me. I could certainly never forget him. Although he does seem to have changed somewhat in the 6 months or so that it's been since I last saw him. And as for Inspector Hosonaga, that amazing outfit is hard to believe. I guess that's his bathing suit. Do I have something on my face? Well, your glasses for one, although they don't seem to be helping you see. Thank goodness he hasn't recognized me either. I suppose it's this disguise, isn't it? I thought that appearing here in the clothes I was wearing at the time would make for a more faithful testimony. It is my guiding principle to carry out all testimonies flawlessly. Right, I remember. Well, I can appreciate why an Imperial Police Bureau detective might have been present. But what business does a writer such as yourself have being at the scene, Soseki-san? Ah, well, you see, I had been asked that day to give a lecture on the morning of the incident in the Imperial Yume University, a grand lecture hall, no less. At Yume University? After the lecture, I had a very pleasant conversation with a researcher from the medical science department. The professor over there, in fact. With Professor Mikotoba? Yes, that's right. It was arranged by one of the newspapers. I wanted some story or other about 2 former students who study in Great Britain. Of course, being a renowned author, the press never left me alone. They secretly spy, snapshots, scribble stories, and scupper my privacy. Yeah, see that? He uses a pencil but has ink on his right hand. Isn't that suspicious? But I guess she didn't manage to stab him. If there's just ink on him. Also, I never seen that face before. As you can see, the conversation was written up in this newspaper here. Read it at your leisure, my provincial struggling student friend. I have plenty of copies. Thank you very much. You practically threw that paper at me. Alright, thanks. Anyway, following my interview with the professor, the lady in question appeared and made a very unexpected announcement. I should like to go with everyone to see a country's coast. Those were her words. As I explained before, Miss Brett was never taken into custody. She continued to work in my laboratory under strict surveillance, of course. At which interference, the university immediately contacted the government to seek guidance. And the response was, permit Miss Brett to go as long as the detective accompanies her. And that detective I'm at liberty to divulge was me, Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga. Barely, the entire party departed cordially for the seaside, it seems. Soseki, why? It was extremely challenging to clear all the members of the public from the vicinity of the beach. Are you okay, buddy? But fortunately, I'm at peak physical fitness at the moment, so... peak? This is your peak? I was able to carry out my duty flawlessly. Oh my, Inspector, you... well... you do have something on your face now. Ah, how unsightly. I do apologize. Does that mean that you went to the beach too, Father? No, fortunately I had work to finish. But unfortunately, of course, it meant that, as my assistant, Ray was invited to take my place. Oh, I see. Of course, being a renowned author, I didn't like to decline the invitation. Ah, but if only I had, I'd never seen that awful sight. Relentlessly wrecked by remorse and regret. Can someone tell me who that photograph is? Very well. I must now ask you to present your formal testimony to the court. You will give an account of all that you witnessed on your impromptu execution to the coast. Of course, Your Excellency. I stand. Relentlessly wrecked by remorse and regret, I am. Oh, Soseki, I wish we had never met again, either in court. On the day of incident, I was ordered on a special surveillance assignment in this disguise. I just managed to catch that crab when I suddenly heard it caterwaul from behind me. I ran into the beach hut at once, where I found the pair in question. Yes, that young girl was astride the English woman, dagger in hand as she stepped wildly. Soseki Natsume! You were a victim yourself, and you vividly described false testimony to the court. Why? I saw blood on the blade. It proved to me that she had stabbed the victim multiple times. Multiple times, even? Indeed, it does appear from his testimony that both witnesses here present saw it. Oh my goodness, why are you like this? Huh? Waga High? No, it's probably the kitty that got bigger. You showed me this, but I can't see anything special about this. Except, I don't know why this crack is here. Isn't this a picture? Why would there be a crack? Anything else? I don't see anything else that stands out so far. Let's leave it at that. Single deep step, one from behind, piercing along. Are you kidding me? What do you mean with multiple stabbing? It was a single one! A single one! The very moment of his heinous crime. What? Now, if you will recall, I promised evidence as well. What phrase did I use again? Ah yes, that was it. I know who killed him. Oh, who was it? It's the judge this whole time. No, it's not the judge. The damning evidence! What have you there, Counsel? A so-called fountain pen, is it? Correct, Your Excellency. I found it at the scene whilst examining the body. It appears that in her dying moments with a final ounce of strength... The victim clutched a piece of evidence that would positively identify a killer. What? Your Excellency, if you would cast your eyes over the photographic print of a crime scene once more. Ah, goodness me. Yes, the victim's clearly grasping something quite deliberate there in hand. That's right, the fountain pen. And if you would kindly examine the pen, Your Excellency. Ah, the owner's initials have been engraved into the ebonite barrel. RM. Ray Membami. The initials of a defendant. So you also have that emotional animation. I think she learned a little bit too much from Ryunosuke Naruhodo. The photographer hasn't been shown yet, huh? How annoying. This fountain pen will be admitted immediately as critical evidence. So, have I omitted anything? Decisive testimony and damning evidence. There's the bright black blue sky outside the courthouse today. Perfect weather to ascribe guilt, I feel. It should be innocence, you idiot. I don't understand. The prosecutor outshift of 9 months ago had none of his man's poise. Counsel for the defense, you may begin your cross-examination now. Naruhodo-san! Naruhodo. That means... Oh, yes, me. Is there another Naruhodo in my courtroom? Actually, there isn't even a single Naruhodo in your courtroom. Cousin Ryotaro, pull yourself together, please. Alright. I've seen this countless time as a judicial assistant. Find inconsistencies in the witnesses' testimonies to prove that they are lying somehow. That's all there is to it. That's how a real lawyer would handle a cross-examination. So let's see what I can do. Yeah, no worries, they totally fucked up their testimony. So it's really easy, actually. Before that, though, it's very important for me to check the fountain pen beforehand. I can't check it, why? Okay, whatever. Yeah, I don't care. Okay. Alright. For us, first of all, let's save this place. Is this Ace Attorney who went back in time? No, this is Ace Attorney playing in the past. Basically, it's your previous generation. Or rather, the first generation of Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright is basically a descendant of him. She sounds pretty cute. Step quietly? You actually saw her do it? Oh, indeed. The terror spectre, the terrapin inspector, the bloody torrent, the office torment. What? Every second, every sound is still carved in my melancholy memory. That was my impression, at least, as the future literary sensation. So what on earth was the shrill, effeminate scream? Oh, no, no, what are you insinuating? As I'm as many as the Japanese man as you. As many as you, that's actually every bit true. I wonder if I might interject here, Soseki-san. Something you said is troubling me. That was my impression were your words just now, I believe. Oh no. Ah. So do you mean to say you're not confident that you really did see what you've described? Oh, Soseki Natsume, why are you like this? No, I mean, yes, I mean, I know what I saw. My ears didn't deceive me when I heard that scream, hence my eyes didn't deceive me either. I could describe everything I saw vividly. I could publish it all in tomorrow's newspaper serial. Please don't. Ryotaro is cute. Yeah, Ryotaro is cute. Well, the next installment of I Am a Cat may take a macabre turn. Oh my god, he's right. Actually, Archie said something pretty good this time. I think this is a force rant. The more we press your office friend on what he saw, the more entrenched he's going to become. Oh dear, how awkward. Let's press him instead. She was stabbed multiple times? How can you be sure of that? Very simply, from the blood on the blade. The blood? When I entered the hut, I saw the defendant holding the blade raised up in the air. Yes, yes, that's right, I saw it too! Oh no. And I noted there was blood on the blade already at that point. In other words, the victim had already been stabbed at least once by the time I arrived on the scene. Yes, that's right, I saw it too! And the victim was already holding the defendant's fountain pen in her hand too. All of which means I can be sure the victim did not die instantly. Did not die instantly. Well, you're right about that at least. I'm pretty sure she died after a few minutes. Yeah, within minutes. Yes, right, I saw it too. Maybe a year in London was too much for him. It sounds like he's forgotten how to speak Japanese. Oh, that's possible. The logic of your argument is sound, at least. Well, as I said, it is my guiding principle to carry out all testimonies flawlessly. Perhaps it should have been your guiding principle to protect the victim flawlessly. That's just my personal opinion, of course. Sorry, Hosonaga. I know you're a good guy. Counsel, you are refrained from mocking the witnesses. I'm sorry. Oh no, I just have so many thoughts swirling around in my head. It's all I can do to stand here wide-eyed and mute. Goodness, my dear. You really must try to calm down. How am I supposed to find an inconsistency in what these two gentlemen are saying? I don't see why either of them would have any reason to lie. Well, they're both pretty much wrong. But you must remember, I think, is that witnesses may inadvertently lie at times. For various reasons, a misunderstanding, a mistaken observation, a delusion, even... Ah, a delusion. What's important is that we determine the truth, and there's only one sure way to do that. Yes, with evidence, of course. Spoken like a true judicial assistant. During witness testimony, you can use... Yes, I will do that. So you need to listen carefully to each statement and compare what's said to the details of a court record. You find some conflicting information, that may be the inconsistency you're looking for. Yes, it's all about inconsistencies. Once you've identified a witness statement that appears to conflict with a piece of evidence, present the evidence to the witness with... and the way ahead will present itself up true. Yes, alright then. Now consider the details of all the evidence and record against each statement to find an inconsistency. I hope I'm up to the task. Don't forget that you can have a witness repeat their statements as many times as you like. Everyone has to start at the beginning, remember? So those white eyes are quite forgivable. Besides, there's no one else to defend the poor girl. You're right. I need to listen to the testimony again from the start. Actually, the Yotaro was described as gallant and dashing by her best friend Ray. Okay, so he said the victim was stabbed multiple times, and we have evidence that didn't happen. It clearly says over here that she died from a single deep stab wound from behind. So we can present that, but I need to get a drink real quick because mine ran out and my voice is starting. My mouth is starting to dry out, so I can't talk. So give me just a minute. I'll be back in a bit. Alright, let's continue. Alright. Whoop. Sorry. I'm just going to save. Let's be safe. Because I'm a coward that always saves whenever I can. And let's present the inconsistency now. Oh, so that's how it sounds when she says it. That accusatory cry that just welled up from deep inside me, I think I finally understand. Every time Kazuma-sama and Naruhodo-san have stood here at this bench, the stakes have been very, very high indeed. What's the meaning of that menacing pose, Counsel? I would like the witness to clarify something for me. Who? What? Where? When? How? Seriously, who's that guy? Not you, Soseki-san. This query is directed at Inspector Hosonaga. At me? In your statement just now, you said that the victim was stabbed multiple times. Yes, that's right. As I said when I entered the hut, the defendant was already standing over the victim, bloody knife in hand, like a murderous demon. And yet, that cannot be. What? Get to the point, please, Counsel. Wait, wrong words. Get to the point, please, Counsel. The post-mortem report clearly states that the victim was stabbed one time only. Hosonaga, please don't die. In other words, Inspector Hosanaga's testimony is clearly flawed. Uh-oh. And Soseki-san. Me? You claim to have seen Membami-san in the throes of stabbing the victim. Yes, I did. Wildly. But both of you and the inspector confirmed the same point, that there was already blood on the knife that you saw the defendant holding. Yes, and? It's quite simple. We know the murder weapon was used to stab the victim only once. Therefore, there's no way there could have been blood on the knife if that single stabbing hadn't already occurred. True. Then what exactly is your contention, Counsel? Are you ever going to tell us? Yes, Your Excellency. There's only one logical conclusion. What Soseki-san in fact saw was not the moment that the defendant stabbed the victim at all, but the moment that the defendant in fact withdrew the blade from the victim's body. That can't be! Right. Excellent work, Susato. You exploded at them with that objection and then proceeded to pull them apart systematically. Chi. Well, this takes me back. Yes, I seem to remember your cousin staged a scene much like this in the trial 9 months ago. A half-witted child with a half-baked objection, attempting to steal the show. Well, to be honest, her objection was way better than Naruhodo's one. You're right, there were certain similarities. Except that so-called half-witted child managed to outwit the prosecution, who was only half a head of hair. Oh, wow, that burned. Excuse me, my head is quite adequately dressed. In any case, all this talk of stabbing and withdrawing in multiple wounds, it makes no jot of difference. What? Why not? Engage your brain, young man. When the accused first plunged the deadly weapon into the victim, that was a fatal blow. And it was at that moment, just as she had withdrawn her blade already, for the next strike where the witnesses saw. That's a total assumption. He can't say that. He said that the witnesses saw the exact moment of when the witness and the defendant stabbed the victim. But they didn't say jack shit, to be honest. And so their whole testimony is completely false. So they would need to withdraw theirs and actually talk about basically just say what they actually saw. So we can get a clear picture of what happened. The knife was already tainted with blood because the accused had already stabbed the victim. You have successfully shown with your little display. As It's that the mustache author is prone to the moments of extravagance. Oh, please calm yourself, Susato. I'm in agreement with the prosecution. If the defendant was seen wielding the blade at all, that is sufficient grounds for her actions to be viewed as with suspicion. Well, the judge is absolutely right about that, at least. But if she was withdrawing the blade, then we are back where we started. Sorry? Consider this, young yokel boy. If a student girl is innocent as you claim, then why would she have pulled the blade from the victim? And with the demon's cold-blooded composure, too. The prosecution demands an explanation, and that better be good. Why did Ray pull out the knife? Ah, yes, going for the jugular. What does father mean by that? Let record for your answers, then, counsel. Truth is, I don't really know. Yeah. He didn't even talk to the defendant before that. But I have to come up with a plausible reason here or we don't have a case. The reason why the defendant pulled out the knife blade out of the victim's body was surely so she could... Well, pulling out the knife when you got stabbed is actually the worst thing you can do. You should leave it to professionals to do that. And it would be probably better to, I don't know, take a cloth or something and hold the wound, press on the wound so as little as possible blood will come out. And until the professionals, like, well, from the hospital arrives to actually do something, they can do all the pulling out knife and stuff. Because the knife helps with keeping the blood in and not gushing it all out when there's a big-ass hole on your body. I should have saved. According to the post-mortem report, the victim's death was not instant. That's correct. It's thought she would have remained conscious for a short while after sustaining the injury. Indeed, giving her time to take hold of this piece of evidence that clearly indicates a killer. But the point is, being a medical research assistant, Membami-san was compelled to act when faced with a wounded victim. Instinctively, she pulled the blade out in an attempt to save Miss Brett's life. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? It would seem this is the best we can expect of this young yokel. Indeed. Wow, that was, sad. Is it just me or does it suddenly feel much colder here? Your Excellency, if I may. Speak, witness. I would like another opportunity to testify. In respect to the slipshod assertion just put forward by the yokel defense counsel, I mean. That is mean, hello, but at least he doesn't recognize Susato if he calls me that. Slipshod? An excellent idea, Inspector. Our young yokel hopeful has a modicum of knowledge when it comes to the law, it seems. But in matters of medicine, he appears to possess not one iota of common sense. Well, you're exceptionally right about that. Very well, Inspector. I will permit your request. You will testify again before the court on the subject of a defense counsel's assertion. Yes, sir. I will do so flawlessly. Why is Soseki crying? I thought his eyes were sparkling just now. Putting a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding. Exactly. That's basic knowledge that any medical research assistant with an ounce of sense ought to know. In other words, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim. Let's not forget that the young student did have a motive for killing the victim. The man the victim murdered 9 months ago, Dr. Wilson, was the defendant's highly respected mentor. That's a flawless testimony. Yes, he's right. Oh my god. Susato, how did you not know? Well, it's fine. She's cute at least. Is what you just said true, Inspector? Could pulling a knife from a wound really cause the wound to bleed heavily? Yes, because you have a hole then. Yes, think of a weapon itself as stopping a wound that prevents excessive blood loss. Until the doctor is ready to provide proper treatment, that stopper shouldn't be removed. Oh, I see. Huh. This is why Yokel should stay on the farm. Even a quack from some obscure mountain village would have such a basic knowledge. Well, I guess. Anyone who's ever given someone a little poke with a knife put it again knows it. Oh, well, I've never stabbed anyone, you see. Or pulled a blade out of a wound, so... Of course you haven't. I didn't bring you up to behave like a bandit. Papa, is it true what they are telling me? She doesn't believe it. That's so cute. Yes, it's basic remedial knowledge for medics. Ray would have been well aware of it. If she were to actually, if you think about what time it is in the, what is it? Major era? What is it? 18th century maybe? 19th century or something? Where we are currently? It wouldn't surprise me if the common people wouldn't know about it. If we talk about today, unless you're like a bit on the younger side, then it would be considered common knowledge. If she were to claim ignorance of such fundamentals, that would prove fatal in many ways. But then, why would Ray have done it? Could she have pulled out that knife with full knowledge that it would be fatal for Miss Brett? I don't know. Ray never once mentioned anything about the knife to me. Seems almost impossible to believe, but... Could my friend actually have... Susato! Yes? Pull yourself together. We mustn't lose sight of why we're here. Yes, you're a defense lawyer. If you don't believe in your victim and your defendant, then no one else will. Counsel, it's time for your cross-examination. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. However, I must warn you that if your cross-examine fails to identify any issue with the established facts, I will be moving to my adjudication immediately afterwards. So fast already? Oh, that's mean. Oh, okay, but I said something pretty stupid. I understand. Believing in your clients and fighting for their cause until the bitter end. I knew it'd be hard, but I had no idea it would be this hard. Indeed it is. Holding a blade without finger could has heavily bleeding. Yes. Basic know that any medical research is someone in all sense ought to know. Otherwise, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull out the knife from a victim. Ah, it's perfect. Let's just press everything and try to get as much info out of it as we can. You say doing it without thinking could be a problem. Does that mean if you use can attention, it would be alright? This is such a cute way of talking. I'll ignore it for now. It sounds so naive. I wouldn't have thought this needed spelling out really, but the blade is like a stopper in the wound. Remove it and a serious hemorrhage will occur. In other words, a medic would need to be present before any attempt was made to restore the blade. Doing it without thinking would be madness. You just can't do it. Oh, well, thank you for such a thorough explanation. You see, Counsel, when you act without thinking, the result is a bloodbath. Ugh. Yes, back to it. In that case, there's an obvious explanation here. Which is? Clearly, the defendant Rei Membami-san. Sato, you're doing so much worse than Leonovsky. Actually, I don't remember how he was in his first trial. I know that he did some stupid things, but Sato's kind of naive in such a cute way. What do you think about that, Professor Mikotoba? I'm not sure that you should be labeling your best friend as lacking in common sense. Well, I thought it would be better than labeling her as a murderer. Yes, she's very nervous indeed. I don't know, young people today. With that friendship, I don't understand it. Careful, Counsel. A lack of common sense can be a very dangerous thing. Oh dear. That recalled me very badly. Welcome back, Dino. That's life, I'm afraid. A lesson everyone must learn. Hopefully you can see now that this is a really basic medical knowledge. Being involved in medical research, Membami-san would certainly have been aware of it. Okay. But the defendant had suddenly encountered somebody she knew lying on the ground bleeding to death. Sai could have shocked her delicate sensibilities, causing her to remove the blade inadvertently. I really don't think inadvertent actions can explain this. Is that a real turtle or is that a fake turtle? The Moon is a medical research assistant. I can't imagine she would behave so rationally. Oh, but irrational behavior as a woman's prerogative is... Susato, why do you say that? But it's... Oh dear, you have a lot to learn about women. He said that to Susato, a woman. Only a small-minded man could have such bigoted views. Oh dear, perhaps I'm letting my maid persona take a hold a little too much. Well, have I managed to convey the basics now? That should cover the medical side of the argument. Oh, he's saying it so gently to me. Whatever the motive, it just isn't Membami-san's nature to do something so awful. But she had both a motive, opportunity. That's very hard to argue against. But you don't know the defendant. And you, Counsel, do not appear to know the law. Well, that's funny because Susato knows the law better than me. Yes, evidence is the only way to convince the court of your argument, not feelings. With this fletching defender, I almost say I pity the accused. So do I. Inspector, you will reiterate your point about the defender's motive, please. Ah, yes, Miss Brett was in many ways the sworn enemy of Membami-san. I see no fault in this argument. What am I supposed to say? Oh, yes, that's true. Dr. Wilson recognized Membami-san's talent and offered her the position of assistant despite her being a woman. She was extremely grateful to him. Yes, the Englishman appears to have been a very broad-minded individual. Dr. Wilson had no time for outdated traditions. He met with oppositions, of course, but he believed firmly in Membami-san's abilities. Clearly, the defendant was in the man's step, which only serves to prove my point. I am in trouble! Hopeless, I can't find a single crack in this testimony anywhere. If they knew that withdrawing the knife from the wound would threaten Miss Brett's life further. I just can't think of any way to explain why she did it. Sato, it's at times like this, especially to remember... Huh? It's at times like these when it's especially important to remember the fundamentals. The fundamentals? Evidence is what counts in the courtroom, isn't it? Of course, but I've been through the court record 1,000 times already. I think perhaps you are forgetting something though. You need to take the evidence at face value. You can and must examine it in greater detail too. Ah. I realize this is your first time playing the role of a lawyer in the courtroom, so if you need reminding of the rudiments, you need only to ask. I'll do my very best to help. Okay. I know what to do. Come to think of it, Kazuma-sama and Naruto-san were always turning evidence over and over in their hands. Yes, I need to examine things in greater detail with A. Ah, by the look in your eyes, I see it's coming back to you. Go through the court record again and have a thorough look at everything. We may find with a clue. Yes, I'll do it straight away. Ooh, I see. I can finally check the pen now. Wow! They actually even have a picture of her on the right. Looks neat. If we take off the pen slit... Yes, it's a fountain pen. I can see that. Wow, amazing. Now let's unscrew the barrel, shall we? What is that? This must be... the little reservoir that holds the ink. Yes, you fill it by drawing ink from a bottle up through the nib. Is something wrong, Father? Just there doesn't actually appear to be any ink in there, that's all. Oh yes, you're right, it's pretty much empty. It could be on the verge of running out, I suppose. Nothing wrong with the tip, I guess. There's some sort of emblem here, look. But it is the Yume University one. Must belong to some other organization, I suppose. A business of some kind. But that would seem to imply that the pen doesn't in fact belong to Rei. The RM initials are very clearly engraved here. And the fact that Miss Brett was clinging to this pen in her dying moments is very clearly a message too. To identify a killer, you mean? I don't think there can be any doubt that this is the key piece of evidence in this case. Ah, this pen is not helping me at all. An almost empty pen. That wouldn't help me at all. Oh, I can finally examine this stupid paper. Rocker's England Returnee Tell-All. This is an interview of you and Soseki-san, is it, Father? Looks as though it was quite an exchange. Yes, he became a little over-animated when he was talking about his time in England. The photographer managed to capture the moment his hand karate chopped me on the neck. I do hope you weren't hurt. I hope so as well. This is the newspaper from Soseki-san. There seems to be an important article on the back page as well. Exclusive deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. From Yume's Medical Research. Father, isn't that your lab? What the? Let me see that. The poison's been stolen? And why does the paper know that before you? It's this morning's paper that Soseki-san gave us. Are you saying you didn't know? As embarrassing as that is for the head of the laboratory, I didn't. I've not heard of any such thing. Where on earth could that reporter have gleaned this information? Come to think of it, there was no article mentioning the story in our paper this morning, was there? It's a highly toxic poison we've been working on in the strictest confidence. I've put Red in charge of a project. Hey, she was managing it? If what's written here is true, it means that she tried to hide the theft from me. And moreover, the details were leaked somehow. I don't believe it. We need to read this article very carefully. Okay, then let's read this article about poison. I Exclusive deadly poison stolen from Yumei Medical Research Laboratory following a lecture at Yumei by Soseki Natsuma on 11 August. It's come to light that a very disturbing incident took place. A deadly poison being secretly developed in university's forensic science laboratory was stolen. Deadly in tiny quantities, even a small amount entering the body either via the mouth or via a wound from poison-laced blade would prove fatal in minutes. Current methods cannot detect the newly developed chemical. The university would have to be consulted. Onset of symptoms occurs in minutes, starting with impaired breathing and ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death. That means she was likely already poisoned and died that way instead of a stab wound. Such symptoms would be suggestive of this toxin. It appears an entirely new synthesis of alkaloids and rumored to have been commissioned by the military. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with this information. So there's a chance she was poisoned beforehand. And then stabbed. Or she was poisoned and then, by being in the poison state, she was stabbed and died of blood and poison. So even if she pulled the knife out, what was the point of it? This doesn't help me at all. What do you mean check the evidence? I checked a lot of stuff, but nothing of this makes sense. Okay, let's continue, I guess. Either via mouth or via wound from poison-laced blade would prove fatal in minutes. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to present here. Just present everything? I mean, it doesn't make sense to pull out the knife if it was poison-laced or something either. We can try. No, there's one possibility. One very good reason why the defendant might have decided to withdraw the knife from the victim's wound. What? So the reason is that the blade might have been poison-laced? Ha! But Yoken not only has a poor grasp of the law, but also is also a poor loser. Oh, that's probably true about Susato. Tell us, man, what possibility do you think you've identified? It's here. In this newspaper article. Amazing. An article about a deadly poison having been stolen from a laboratory at the Imperial Uni... The victim perished from a stab wound. Poison has no relevance in this case. But... Prosecutor Archer, you will let the defense speak. But the newspaper article... The court cannot rely on the kind of hearsay those wretched publications carry. Counsel for the defense. I am going to need some tangible basis for your claim. You will indicate to the court precisely what part of a newspaper article mentioned affirms your assertion. That's a good question! Your Excellency! Yes, of course. Thank you. Ray would have never done something to further endanger Miss Brett's life for a just cause. The reason why the defendant pulled the knife from the victim's body is explained in the article where it says... Deadly in small quantities, I guess? Yeah, I guess that's it. Nothing else talks about poison and what it does. The article reveals the following property about the poison in question. When the toxin enters the body on a knife laced with the poison, it's rapidly absorbed and causes death in minutes. Are you suggesting? If the knife used to attack Miss Brett was laced with this very poison, it would explain why the defendant, Mbambi-san, would have withdrawn the blade as soon as possible. Yes, the truth is, it was an attempt to stop the poison from entering the victim's body. This is complete and utter nonsense. I knew it. Kana Hanazawa is your voice actor. I was wondering why the voice was so familiar, but it's really Hanakana. Not at all. The defendant withdrew the knife blade from the victim's body not to accelerate the woman's demise, but to save her life, and the prosecution cannot deny the possibility. Have you not read the postmortem report? The cause of death was ham or hay. The word poison appears nowhere in the document. Well, that's because by acting quickly to remove the blade, the defendant prevented the poison from taking a hold. Oh, please, this is clearly desperation. Well, it is desperation indeed. Weasel's last breaking of wind. Poison has nothing whatsoever to do with this case, as I believe the defense is well aware. No proof that the information was stretched newspaper articles at all reliable anyway. In that situation, what the student should have done is wait for medical assistance to arrive. But instead, you claim she suspected poisoning and took the potentially lethal decision to remove the blade. She must have had a strong reason for her suspicions then, or the argument makes no sense. Exactly! Well put, Inspector. On what grounds did she do it, Yonkel? Why did Ray suspect a stolen poison was involved? Well, it probably was stolen by the person herself, Miss Josiah Barrett. If you want grounds, I'll give you grounds. What? You can't possibly... From your expression, Counsel, it would appear that those are not empty words. But naturally, as you stand in this courtroom as a lawyer, you must be aware. But words alone, empty or not, are of no value in our modern justice system. The court demands evidence. Yes, Your Excellency. I'm well aware of that. I've seen it many times. From my place at the side of the Old Bailey. In that case, Counsel, you will present the proof to the court now. What evidence does demonstrate a clear link between this case and the poison in this newspaper article? The pen, or am I going too far with that? I might be skipping accidentally a step here, but maybe. How exactly would you explain this piece of evidence's connection to the newspaper article? In truth, I'm not really sure. But my father always taught me to ask my elders whenever I was in trouble. So I thought I should ask your opinion, Your Excellency. No, wait, that was stupid. I'm sorry. I think he means you. Good grief, thrusting that under my nose isn't going to solve anything here. Must use our head. The article in the paper had the detail of the scene. Now, where have we seen similar in details? Does no one come to mind? Yes. Yes, I would like another chance to present evidence if I may, Your Excellency. Okay. the notes, maybe? I mean, it says her pupils do that thingy, what happens when you do the poison. I would ask Kurt to refer to the notes section of a post-mortem report which reads, extreme meiosis, pupil constriction, was observed in the victim. Clearly, being a yokai with no knowledge of forensic science, I have no idea, so please do tell me. Presumably, the fact that this condition of the victim was noted in the post-mortem report means that it's an unusual symptom of death. Well, under normal circumstances, the pupils dilate when someone dies. There was extreme constriction instead. That's most certainly unusual, yes. How you doing, yokai detective? In the newspaper article, there was the following information about the stolen poison. Onset of symptoms occurs in minutes, ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death. If a defendant, upon seeing a victim stabbed in the back, happened to notice that the pupils of Miss Brett's eyes had constricted severely. Yes, as a medical research assistant, she would have suspected poison immediately, without doubt. Prosecutor Ouchie, I think you will agree. This is a very compelling evidence. You yokai student and yokai professor? I don't think you should be mean to the professor who is very well known. I believe the defense has expertly demonstrated a credible reason for the defendant's actions. No. Eugene Mikotoba. Yes, Your Excellency. I believe you are the best placed here to confirm or deny the veracity of the defense's counsel argument. You will tell Kurt the truth about the details reported in this newspaper article, please. It pains me to have to admit, but I'm afraid I don't know. You don't know? The toxin was kept under lock and key in my laboratory, certainly, but I was unaware of any theft. Do you mean to tell the Kurt that the reports to this theft are unfounded? No, Your Excellency. Without returning to the laboratory to investigate myself, I couldn't say. Ha! Listen to the bumbling academic. Unaware of the theft of secret states the research from his own workplace until he reads of it in the newspaper? I take full responsibility for the incompetence of my supervision. Cheh! A pitiful situation for a university professor. You should have more control over your students, rather than following them off on killing sprees. That's... Okay, Soseki, why are you also angry? None of this is Professor Mikotoba's fault. It's all my fault. Today, Mimbami-san, you said accused here. Outbursts like this will not be tolerated. But it was me. I was one who noticed that the poison we were developing had been stolen that day. What? So you knew? I'd been placed in charge of overseeing the project. It was the day that the professor and Soseki were interviewed together for the newspaper. That's when I noticed that some of the poison was missing. Just a tiny amount of it was. Why didn't you let me know immediately? I was scared. The whole project was supposed to be confidential, but some of the toxin had somehow been taken. So I decided I'd try to get it back before anyone else found out. Because I had a very good idea who the thief was. The thief? You don't mean... Yes, of course. Are you crazy? You wanted to confront the English woman who already killed someone very important while she has the deadly poison in her head? That's the worst idea you could have, woman. Miss Josiah Brett. That's why I decided to join the little group of people going to the seaside. Yes, brilliant. Exceptionally brilliant. Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, spying sweetly at me as if she knew she was untouchable. I know it was you who stole the poison. Well now, whatever do you mean? And then, she suddenly got to her feet before falling to her knees in front of me and then collapsing on the floor. That's when I saw the knife in her back. I couldn't understand what had just happened, and then, a moment later, I was seized with fear. The pupils of her eyes had shrunk to tiny pinpoints. I don't believe it. In other words, you realized that the victim was suffering the effects of a stolen poison. My mind started racing. I hadn't seen anything past Miss Brett's lip whilst I'd been with her. Which left only possible way for the poison to have entered her body? On the blade of a knife in her back. And that train of thought was what spurred you to withdraw the blade. Yes, if the amount that had entered her bloodstream was small enough, she might still have a chance. That's what I had hoped. Really, I'm so sorry for staying silent all this time. Well, sorry won't help you in this case, sadly. Your attempt to hide the truth of what happened is not something that can be overlooked. However, I have duly noted the courage with which you confessed in the end. Oh, Judge, thank you! Thank you, Your Excellency. Barely perceptible, but I do think... The balance has been shifted a little here in this courtroom now. Oh my god, why are you like this? Your Excellency, do not be deceived! The victim just collapsed before your eyes, you say? Or, Membami-san, if that is the case, perhaps you could explain how Miss Brett came to be stabbed. Well, you have no answer because of simple truth. You stabbed the victim motivated by revenge. But you have no conclusive evidence to prove that it's the surgeon, do you? And I don't have a conclusive evidence that it wasn't her either. Oh, I have evidence, and it's very much conclusive. You do? Yeah, what the prosecution counts up to. It was brief, but he hesitated for a moment there. I'm almost sure of it. That means that he has evidence, but even he himself is not sure if he should present it. There's a risk involved. You will produce the aforementioned evidence at once, Prosecutor Ouchie. Perhaps some praise is due, young Yauka student. What? I had imagined there would be no need for me to submit the evidence. But you've brought this on yourself. Really? Thank you, Ouchie. That was the evidence I needed. Thank you very much indeed. You perfectly provided me with evidence that the photographer is the one who stabbed her. Oh, that's how she looks. That's the first time I see her face. Of Josiah Brett. Could more damning shot exist? The cruelty in the air on that beach is almost palpable. This evidence, more than any other, reveals the true extent of the accused murderer's nature. For it shows the precise moment that Membami-san plunged her dagger into the victim's back. No, that's not true. No! I don't believe it. Ouchie, you idiot. Ouchie, you're an idiot. You could have won, but now you threw all your chances away. Order! 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 Counsel for the defense, was it you who was responsible for that shrill scream that just pierced my ear in my courtroom? Did you scream again? That's kinda cute. Perhaps this voice has yet to break. These jokers are slow of mind and slow to mature. I'll show you who's slow to mature. Careful now, Susato is starting to show her face here. He's right. It is often said that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and here we have ample proof. Actually, maybe this tutorial will be faster than the first case. It's so much easier to understand. The court will accept this extremely cogent photographic print as evidence. Thank you! I need that. Now it all makes sense. I can't believe he's had a photograph like that up his sleeve the entire time. Such a stark image, I'm genuinely lost for words. Wait a minute, I don't understand. How did you... I mean, who took that photograph? Hey! Stop, no importance here. Stop trying to divert attention. I think it's of very importance who took the picture. Because you don't just take a picture from a fucking murder. Oh. That's an absurd thing to say. It's crucially important. Whoever took this photographic print was a witness to Miss Brett's death. The court must be allowed to hear this person's testimony. Well, Ouchie, you rid yourself up there. I will uphold the defense's demand. The prosecution will reveal the identity of the person responsible for taking this photograph at once. Well, I'm afraid I can't do that. Pardon? You see, this print arrived at the Imperial Police Bureau headquarters by express post yesterday. But there's nothing to indicate the sender's name or address. The provenance of the print is unknown. You do know that this also means that this could be forgery. Ouchie, that's... Now that's disgusting what you're doing. Are we to understand then, Counsel, that in full knowledge of the fact that this photograph has the murkiest of origins, you nevertheless believe it fit for submission as evidence in the Supreme Court? When you first produced that print before, I noticed that you hesitated for a brief moment. Because you knew that it wasn't completely reliable evidence, didn't you? Silence, you young and blabbering professor! This is the blatant truth that this print is eloquently expresses. But the defendant has already admitted to pulling the blade from the wound. Clearly, this isn't the moment that the knife was plunged to the victim's back, but when it was withdrawn, waste this cursed time with your ramblings. Indeed, without knowledge of who produced this print, we have no means of verifying the claim, and the seaman crafts it would adopt the most compelling evidence presented to the court. If the defense is unable to shed any further light on the matter, I believe the conclusion is clear. Oh no. Susato, this is the time for you to fight. If what you've established so far is true, then there can be no doubt. This photograph shows the moment that Ray withdrew the blade from the victim. Yes, we just need to prove that somehow. Well, first of all, how would she put in the blade while she's on the ground? This makes no sense! Ouchie, you're stupid! You have plenty of to root your defeat of a slow train back to the provinces. Rolling over. And to rue the day you came up against Taketsuchi Ouchie in the court of law. If I can't determine who took this photograph, then the trial is going to come to an end. There must be a clue somewhere. There must be somewhere working out who took it. I know who took it. It's pretty easy to see. If you look at this picture, there's a distinguished problem with his camera. It's broken, as you can see from this thing. No. Which other picture we know was broken? Oh, wow, look at this! It's the same pattern! Whoever the photographer is, he's a poor guy because he can't afford a new lens for his camera. Well, Counsel? Your Excellency? The burning question is who took that photograph, and the truth is, I have the answer. She really learned everything from the Inosuke Naruto, didn't she? This isn't about whether I can or can't up with the answer now. I simply have to. Yeah, let's fake our way through somehow. The identity of the person who took this dramatic photographic print is, I assure you, something the defense can and will reveal. What? No, you can't possibly. But you so boldly claim that you can. Please, do enlighten us. Unfortunately, I'm unable to present the name. How utterly underwhelming. Did you really believe you could? However, I'm able to present evidence. The defense has a piece of evidence that reveals important details about the photographer's identity. Very well then, Counsel. Present your proof to be heard. Which piece of evidence do you claim reveals something about the identity of a mystery photographer? What is that? The newspaper again? Raucous England returners tell all. It's not the headline that's relevant here, Your Excellency. It's the photograph. If you look at it closely, you notice that there are some white lines on the right-hand side. Ah, yes, indeed. They had clearly caught my eye as it happens. And what of it? A shadow of some kind, presumably. From the branches of a tree and the like. No, you stupid. It's the lens that's broken. There are no trees growing inside my laboratory at the university, I can assure you. Going to watch Yuki and have fun, guys. Okay, have fun, Sen. Tell me your impression of the episode later on. Now, if you look closely at this photograph... Good gracious. Yes, exactly the same pattern of lines is present of this photograph too. Well, that tells us nothing. Oh, it tells us plenty of things. There can't be like the same broken lens in a picture. At least not in a small amount of time like this. And then it's a very, very big coincidence. You can't just spiderweb similar things on your lens. Yes! It's a shadow of some kind, definitely from the branches of a tree. Again, with stupid branches? There wouldn't be any trees growing inside the hut at the beach, Council. Oh, so, well, it's outside the hut, actually. What's quite remarkable about it is that the two patterns are absolutely identical. How could such an extraordinary similarity have transpired? The curious matching pattern that appears on both photographic prints is the result of a camera defect. Obviously, it must be due to a problem with a camera used to take the photographs. With a photographic device? Yes, we can confidently say that the camera's lens must be scratched. And that the scratched lens causes unwanted lines to appear on every print taken with the device. In short, the two photographs under consideration here were taken with the same camera. But there must be hundreds of such camera devices here in the capital. It would be utterly impossible to identify the owner of this particular one. I think you're forgetting, Prosecutor Ochi, that one of the photographs featured in a newspaper article. In newspaper... That's right. The author of that article is a mystery witness to this crime. Easy, easy. That's weird noise. Many moo? What the hell was that noise just now, Soseki? I see you were called the Raucous England returning. What are you yelling about? You've already testified. It's many memo, I tell you. Many memo. Me mo. What does that mean? Yes, I saw him. I'm pretty sure he's the murderer. Mini Mimo? Soseki-san, what was that? Did you say many Mimo? See? See? He misspoke! Ever since I returned to Japan, a reporter from the Shoyu News has been hounding me, following me my every move. A reporter by the name of Raiten Many Memo, actually that's his name. Yes. Oh wait, it's called... Wait, do you mean it's spelled Mini Memo? Raiten Mini Memo? Yes, holding me from dawn to dusk. Ah, now that he mentions it? Written Mini Memo. Writing. Minimum. Create secret spy, snapshot, script a story, and scupper my private. Oh, alright. Could that same reporter be. A camera to the left of him, and notebook to the right of him. There I am, stuck in the middle with Brighton mini memo. So you're saying that this picture was taken by many memo? Yes, my lord, your excellency, your esquire. He really has forgotten his Japanese, hasn't he? Officer, find this newspaper reporter at once and bring him to my courtroom. We were adjourned for a short recess in the meantime. Oh, yes, your excellency. As you say, excellency. And one more thing. I want this knife, the murderer, examined for traces of poison. You solicit the assistant of the Imperial University Medical Department for the task. Understood. Many people! Why? What just happened? This might get more complicated once that guy is here. So maybe I will stop here temporarily. And I'll try to continue tomorrow. Wait, tomorrow is Sunday. I'll try to continue on Monday. It's just a good stopping point, and based on what happened in the first game, even though I'm very confident about what actually happened, I don't have no confidence that this will take just 1 hour or something. I feel like it would take a little more time, because the cameraman seems to be pretty smart. Because there's many mysteries. First of all, I'm pretty sure the cameraman is the murderer. We already established there was a hole in the hut, and the seat where she was sitting is the perfect place where the hole was, so he could easily have stabbed her. So I'm pretty sure that he's at fault. But here are multiple problems. The first one is, how did he get ink on his hand? I first thought it was ink from the pen, but what I assume currently is that the pen was holding the poison. So I don't think that's where the ink comes from. But I'm not too sure. Then the second thing is, how did the reporter get the poison? And why? Because obviously, he put poison in Giselle bread. Or someone else did, I don't know. But I guess he was the guy who also gave her poison. The question is how? How did he get the poison? Because obviously Miss Brett was taking it. So I guess maybe she was the thief taking the poison, and the reporter was the guy who was following Soseki to get close to anywhere he goes in the university to deal with her. Maybe they made the deal so he gets the poison. And instead of just taking it, for some reason, he stabbed her and poisoned her while at it, which is weird enough. Weird indeed, weird indeed. So I think because of so many possibilities of what could happen in the next part of the trial, I'll stop here. Because it will take a long time and I don't have that much time currently. So yeah, let's just stop here. I saved, right? Yes. Let's save and go back to the main menu. Menu. Ugh. It's actually pretty cool, but when I want to stop. Oh, I can just exit game from here. Okay. Then we'll just stay here. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see what happens for next time. I think this is a pretty clear case, pretty easy one. If I remember the one from Naruhodo, I think that one was more complicated to understand. So this is pretty easy. But we'll see how it turns out. It will probably get a bit more complicated once the poison is really involved and whatever motives are behind there. I can't believe she saw the grave scene in that outfit. Yes. Wait, did she wear her normal outfit when she was at the grave scene, or did she wear the cross dress? The normal one, right? The kimono one. Yes, okay. That's good to know. But yeah, it looked pretty stupid. So I will now listen to you and keep the normal outfits. I'm sorry. Maybe if there will ever be there's no bonus DLC, what am I talking about? I'll just look at it. I'll just look at it. Yes, it was funny. He was yelling. She was yelling. Did she see the grave scene with a with a cosplay? No, during the trial. Why was she yelling during the trial? Cause your turtle looks so. Oh, I see. Ah, she was fangirling. That's what you meant. Okay, yeah, that's totally understandable. She looks cooler than Dionosuke Naruto, sadly. But it's okay. She can be more manly. She can also take us down pretty easily. We are pretty weak. No, she was fangirling about the outfit. Yelling. You mean yelling? I see. She must have been a big fan then. Not fangirling. Yelling. I see that's important to distinguish in this case. Oh. Oh, T. Well, it's okay. She can yell well. It looked pretty good. The other outfit looked not so good. I gotta say, I wish rather I could have that outfit, you know, as extra that she could wear all the time instead. But instead of this one, what was it? Yeah, this one. I wish we could have a cross-dress uniform thing instead of that. So instead of just 2 options to change clothes, maybe multiple ones. Oh man, I can't believe she became his cousin by, well, I'm not sure what to say here. Not by accident. By having no choice. Hosonoga got a new outfit. Doesn't he always get a new outfit? I mean, first he was the policeman, then he became a shipman, then he became a batsuit guy. Yes. Maybe I'll call him Turtle Guy. He has a turtle on his head. That one is pretty cool. Alright. Let's end it here for now and we'll continue. Oh, actually, we'll finish the case the next time. So until then, bye bye everyone. Bye bye Dino. Have a good evening and a nice weekend. Bye bye.